We're back out at the settlement. Haven't been detecting for a while. The old shovel's getting a bit of rust on it. It's bad. But anyway, we got out this weekend and I'm swinging my way to where I've been detecting lately, to my spot at the moment. And just taking my time, swinging my way through the bush over there and seeing what we can find along the way. And apart from a rivet washer and a bit of rubbish, haven't found anything much. And then down here we had a 19. We've got that, which I do believe is a musket ball. Can't see any sign of a hole in it, and it looks like it's hit something on that side. So a nice big chunky musket ball. So they're always cool to find, and it's as heavy as lead because it is lead. Anyway, it's not a bad start, so we'll keep going and see what else we come up with. Well, we're certainly off with a bang this afternoon. Another projectile. Anyway, bit of a different one. Not quite sure why it's flat on the end there. But anyway, maybe it's the way it hit. But anyway, another bullet. What detector doesn't like coming across a pile of bricks? Problem is, there is tin buried here as well. So I dug down there and hit a piece of tin. But anyway, there's a mound of bricks here. So, you know, they could have been dumped, but they could have been pushed from where a building was too, so we're going to have a look around and see what we can find. It's down there is where the pile of bricks is, and I've sort of come up this bit of a hill here because I thought maybe the building was up on this higher bit of ground. And interestingly enough, just over here somewhere was where I found that shilling the other time. Might have been 2 videos ago or something by now. Had a 13 down here. Saw that coming up and I thought it's going to be a nail. But as you can see, I've got thread there. Sort of like a valvey sort of needle valve sort of thing. And we've got a little handle on the end. Looks like elephant ears. But anyway, whatever that was out of, obviously you screwed that in to adjust the mixture of something. And these little slots would let the fuel or whatever go through. So anyway, a needle valve out of something. There is where I found the valve thing, and I'm still coming up this bit of a mound here. Had another 13 down here, and I seem to be finding a few of these lately. But I've got a corset fastener. So I think, yeah, it's one of the ones. I think it's got a bit of a pattern on it, which we'll see when we clean it up better, but it's not quite plain, I don't think. Anyway, so find enough of those around sometimes you have a drought of them, but anyway, little buckle. Got a button, about a 15 here. Pretty sure it's just a double ring edge one with the fancy writing. So pretty common, but still a nice little button. There we got a 14. Now I have dug a couple of buttons up here, and last time I was here I dug that bit of a brooch thing, and I have found another brooch thing here in the past, and we found the 2 halfpennies down there last time. Anyway, so I'm digging all the signals I can find, all the low ones, anything I can find. I've got this one, which says on there, the hair. Now I think it's KOKO or KQKO. One of the two. It's got a bit of a scratch, so I can't really see. But the hair Coco, whatever that was, it's got a little thread sticking out there, and it's got these little clip things on the back, which would have bent over into material or something. So that was fastened to something, and obviously something screwed on that. So I don't know what it was off. But funnily enough, back a little further, and I didn't film it, I found that one, which I didn't really know what it was. It was only a 12, it's a bit smaller than the other one, and the thread maybe has broken off, but it's got the same pins there to fold over, so I don't know, but I'd nearly say that is another one of these, just a bit different size. So don't really know what they were used for other than something to do with hair. So if you know, or if I can't find out, and if you know, drop a comment. But I'll look that up and I may be able to find out what they're off. Cocoa for the hair. This was a hair tonic that seemed to begin around the 1880s and went on into the 1900s. And it was reputed to stop you going grey and to stop your hair falling out and to give you that luscious long hair. As you can see here, the one on a bottle, it was a top on a cork, so it had a screw-on little handle. Ours has got the little thread, and for easy removal of the cork. Number 2. Different design. It's a more plain one, that one. Over here was where we found the half pennies last time, and we've got a 21 here. So you're going to see what it is. 21, 22, thereabouts. It's looking pretty small. It's looking pretty cog-like to me. That'll be a little cog out of something, or maybe not a cog, maybe a little nut. So I will be corrected. I would say it had some threads in there and it's screwed onto something. So that little chrome nut, finger nut. Another button by the looks, and I am finding quite a few buttons around the place, so we'll probably see more in the wrap up. We won't film too many. How does it get writing? It has but what does it say? I can see Don, it should be London. So something London. Can't quite make out anything much there, so we will leave that one for the wrap up, and we'll clean it up a bit more and get the name off it, if we can. Well, I'm still digging buttons. I got a Excelsior one down here, and then I dug another 13, 11, 13 here, and there's a bit of rust, and I thought that'll be it, but then there's still something. Got that little one, which I don't ever found those at this site, the suspender ones, but it's a nice little button. It's got some lovely, well, it looks nice anyway. So, suspender, and there's some kind of, like a buckle pictured here. It's like there's a belt wrapped around there, and it's a buckle. So, that's a little one. I found, I think last time, or the time before, I found a bigger one. Exactly the same, but bigger. But, you know, all the ones I've found, they clean up nicely. I dug a chunk of brass down there, not sure what it was, but that thing, whatever that is, or was, but I've sort of disturbed some big ants here, so I'm going to quickly kick that in and keep going. Jumping ants. They'll jump and sting you with both ends. That's their nest over there somewhere. That's where they're all coming from. But they are a pretty big old ant. We can get one to sit still long enough. There's a couple. There's something a bit different. We got half a rivet washer. So, if you're wondering what half a rivet washer rings up at, it is 15. Thought for a minute that was a brass tap handle that had broken, but it's actually lead. Well, if you're wondering, I am still digging buttons. So, we're getting quite a few. So, not filming them really, but I'll see them cleaned up later. But anyway, we're still finding buttons, so you know, nothing wrong with that. Buttons are always interesting, but you know, someone's lost a fair few in this particular spot. I did think to myself, the amount of buttons I've been finding, we've got to find the thimble, and we did. So there we go, a thimble for our buttons. Well, all the buttons I've been finding have been 4-hole buttons, but now we've got a 1-hole button. One of those again. Found a few of those today. Anyway, now a fair few videos ago I found the shilling under the leaf litter here. And I found threepence behind me, and I don't know if I found another coin, but I thought I'd come here. I'm sort of nearly out of time. I'll come here and just have another scout round in here. Anyway, I have 18 down here, and we've got that, which is rather falling to bits. That little handly thing, which was the first thing I found, and I thought it was a salami tie thing, that comes off there somehow, and I'll give it a clean in a minute. But there's this little lid thing that hinges, and it almost looks like it's got holes for like a spice shaker or something, I'd say, and that is the little brass cap which would have sat on top of the glass bottle or whatever it was on. So I'd say it's a spice shaker of some sort, but it's kind of falling apart. But we'll give it a clean and see what it looks like. And there we have her a bit cleaner. Let's see if I can put this phone between the knees here. So I've got 2 hands. And I might zoom in a bit. But as you can see, there's beautiful little patterns on that. And this little bit hinges up like so. The hinge is rusted out. That's a little handle for it. And this is a little thing, I don't know if that is a little spout there or whether it's just bent. On the back we've got a loop with a little link of chain left. So it's had a little chain on it. So I don't quite know how that worked or what. I thought it was a spice shaker, but there's a lot of holes there. Could be. So anyway, some kind of lid off I'd say that would have sat over glass or porcelain or something. But it looks like it's got a little spout, unless it's just bent. I'm not sure what the chain accomplished. Anyway, we'll get some better photo of that a bit later, but it's an interesting little find. Here we are, we've made it to the wrap up, and as you can see, we've done pretty well for our 2 afternoons at our spot. So quite a collection of goodies to go through in the wrap up. So I thought I'd just do a video and we'll have a look at them cleaned up. So we'll start up the top here. We've got our little round button, our little P button. So I reckon that's a little cool button, and you don't sort of find those too often. We've got 3 with makers' names on them. Now I'll have to put some info on the screen, but we've got Henry Lyons and Company, Sligo, S-L-I-G-O. Henry Lyons of Sligo in Northern Ireland opened its doors in 1835, so next year it will mark 190 years in business and still operates today. Then we have Kinos of Melbourne, and we also have this one, which is R, H and S, London. Now the only R, H and S of London I can find were Potters, so they started a business in the 1860s. So whether they put their name on a button, I don't know, but it's the only R, H and S I can find. Moving down, we've got our 2 suspender buttons, smaller one and a bigger one. We've got a 3-hole button, which is rather unusual, and it is an Excelsior one. This one looks plain, but when we clean the back, we've got writing there, and that says warranted not to cut. So I assume that means you wouldn't cut your fingers on the edges. I don't know. Anyway, it's warranted not to cut. Couple of crusty ones. This one here is a Best Solid Eyelet, and I don't know what that one is. Few plain ones. These are all Best Ring Edge buttons in various conditions. We've got some double ring edge buttons and a jolly hair. Some double ring edge ones. Now these are some things that, well, I showed you this one, but I didn't really show these on film when I dug them because there was just too much to fit in. So a few bits of broken teaspoons and such, cool old nails, rivets, some odd little screwy bits and pieces, the old tack, another bit of cutlery, a salami tie, and another rivet thing, a little catcher off a lock or something, a patent approved little cap of something, and this one, which I just assumed was a Davenport of London. It's made by Horner & Co, but it is actually Manchester. So Still a bit of dirt falling out of it, but it's actually a little bit more, oops, just trying to zoom in here. It's got a bit of a nice patterny around here. So anyway, it's a Manchester one, which all the others I've found have been Devonport. Anyway, I'll go back up to the top here. We've got the spoon we found, the vertical spoon, and we've got our cocoa hair tops, which fasten to the top of a cork and had something to screw on there and give you a bit of a handle. We've got our Vesta case with the striker on the bottom, but yeah, she's kind of really not in the best shape. Little buckle, it is broken, but anyway, got our musket ball. Do this one. We've got our little lid thing, whatever it is, that hinged up, and it's definitely made to pour. So I don't know what on earth it was, but if you know, you can drop a comment. It's got little holes around there to fasten it to whatever it's set over. But anyway, a little something. But anyway, it's quite ornate, as you can see. Where are we? Got a little odd assortment here. Our little valve, our clock key, our little hoop hanger, the old Paris buckle, and this little thing which I did manage to straighten. Got our Lee and Perrins Worcestershire cork, and we've got our corset fasteners, and one of which has got writing on it, and that says improved 1896, I think. So they improved the design in 1896 apparently. And we've got our 3 coins, our 3 halfpennies. 1896, 1894, and this one remains dateless. I think it's 1880 something, but I can't be sure. So anyway, they're not the prize-winning coins, but they're not too bad. This one is probably the best one. So anyway, that's our 3 halfpennies, and that is our wrap-up. So before this video gets any longer, we're going to call that a good couple of days out detecting for sure.